which leads me actually to think about a question that many of you have asked me as well, which is, how do I create mystery or distance when living on top of each other? You know, this is Mating in Captivity, the quarantine version, right? The sequel, the COVID sequel. The interesting thing is this: physical space is limited, but our imaginative capacities are infinite. And we know that. We know that we can imagine our erotic world, our love world, our intimate world, way beyond what is in front of us. We can imagine ourselves younger, we can imagine ourselves with hair, we can imagine ourselves with confiscated breasts, we can imagine ourselves the way we used to be when we were young together, we can imagine lovers we have. Our capacity for imagination goes way beyond the boundaries and the limitations of our physical reality. And once you have that, then I'm going to invite you to really be a lot more playful, you know. So I'm going to give you another personal example. I don't usually tell you as much about my life, but here we go. You know, I had celebrated my 35th wedding anniversary yesterday, and I went on a date. You know, we both got dressed up, and we both basically went to the living room. It's not like we went very far, but we set it up like we were going to a restaurant, and we opened the entrance door of the house, and then we just literally went back inside and basically pretend. But kids know to play so well, you know, is to make as if, because in this as if, you know you're not, but you feel as if you are. And that is what enabled us to experience the mystery, the playfulness, the unknown, the erotic imagination that accompanied basically celebrating on an anniversary. Then, you know, there's this fantastic little video of Chin Chin, you know, so it's Chin Chin, and this guy is doing it with the mirror, basically, to toast with everyone. So we toasted with a lot of people that some of them were online and some of them were not there. We allowed ourselves to think that we were having a party of sorts, you know. This is one tiny example. I invite you all to just think about what are the multiple ways that you can create boundaries between the normal day and the anniversary, between, you know, intimate time and work time, between solo time and couple time, between practical time and playful time, between the mundane and between the sublime. And that boundary at this moment we're going to have to invent with our minds, with our imagination. It's not going to be with our physical locations, but it can be really interesting. And I wish you all to send me all those things that you have tried. I want to do kind of an erotic chest, a chest of ideas of how to eroticize your relationship at this moment, and we can share it amongst ourselves, because I'm sure some of you are going to have incredible ideas. It's also about writing to each other love notes, even while you're sitting at the same kitchen table, for that matter, so that the texts are not only practicalities, but things that actually just continue to play with each other, to cultivate that sense of otherness, that distance, that I'm watching you, you know. You can do a lot of pretend game. You can do a lot of, you know, playing different characters, role play, whatever you want. This does not diminish because you've been together the whole day, but you have to really know that you're stepping into a different zone. And changing names works for a lot of people. Changing language works for a lot of people, because they're clear delineators. But clothes, or it, just understand that a role is not just defined by the physicality of where it takes place, but by how you act in it. So if you change the script, you change the way you act, you change your role, and you change the story that is being played out between the two of you in that moment.